Okay, we're going to look at the exponential now. Now, the exponential is one of the trickier ones because there's a few different things in it different from our normal parent graphs. So first, it's called exponential because the x is up here in the exponent. Exponent, exponential. One of the things that can be very confusing is that 2 right there. So I'm going to show you what you can do if you need to, is just kind of cover up that 2. While it means something in the graph, it doesn't mean anything for us. The shape of the graph, whether that's a 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. And since we are only making a sketch, we are okay with not having the exact points. So the 2 isn't there, but when I take away that 2, there's not really an a value in front of there. So we need to have that a value showing. So since it's not there, you've got to think, okay, what number is there, but we don't really write it, and that's a 1. Whereas over here on this other equation, we can look at if we take away the 2, we're saying, okay, that doesn't mean anything for us. It's just the base. Then do we have an a value? And we do, -3. Okay, so now that we are not looking at that 2 anymore, we can go ahead and start by looking at our asymptote. So the asymptote comes from this value right here, 5. So I'm going to go up 5. Make my asymptote, it's a dashed line. Now, if I go to the place where I would think my locator point would be, based on everything we've learned about parent graphs, I would look here, I would think it would be at 1, 5. I'm going to write down 1, 5. That is not actually the locator point, so I will take that away later. But it at least gives us a starting point. So if I go to 1, 5, I'm right here. I am not allowed to have a point on the asymptote, so I have to move that. The locator point is actually above or below the asymptote, and what we need to do is know by how much. Well, that's where our handy-dandy a value comes in. That tells us how much we should go up or down from the asymptote. So our a value is 1, so I'm going to go positive, so up 1. Okay, and that gives me my locator point. Okay, so what is my locator point actually? Not 1, 5 like I thought it was, it's actually 1, 6. And you will be asked on the test usually what is the locator point, so you would need to make sure you're writing the correct thing. Okay, and then my final graph, we are always starting at the asymptote on an exponential, so I'm hugging the asymptote here, and then when I get to my locator point, then I swoop upward. Okay, we're going to move on to our second example now, and I have a special helper here. This is my daughter. Her name's Blair. Say hi, Blair.
Hi.
And she is going to draw my asymptote in for me. The asymptote, again, is the place that we start, which is different for this parent graph. So I'm going to look. My asymptote is at -1. So Blair, can you draw in a line right here for me? Good. Okay, so Blair drew in that asymptote. Keep in mind an asymptote should be drawn as a dashed line, but she's 7.5, so we'll let it slide this time. Blair, what value do you see there for the a value? It has a blue square around it. What number is that? -3, you're right. Okay, so I'm going to go to my tricky locator point. This is what they think the locator point would be. So -4, -1. So -4, -1 is where I think it would be because that's what my other parent graphs were telling me to do, is opposite same. But when I go there, I can see that it's on the asymptote. I'm not allowed to have points along the line. Did you know that? An asymptote means you can't have any points there. Can you say asymptote? Loud, so they can hear it.
Asymptote.
Asymptote. There we go. Okay, so I need to move away from the asymptote. And what was that number in the blue square, Blair?
-3.
Okay, do you think for a -3 we should move up or down?
Down.
You're right. Yeah, a negative number we should move down. Okay, so I'm going to take that blue number, I'm going to move down, and I'm going to put a dot there. That is my actual locator point. So bye-bye, tricky point. You are not my locator point. It's actually -4, -4. Okay, now I'm going to draw in my exponential graph. Do you want to do it? Okay, you start here hugging along the green line, and then you're going to swoop down and go through that blue point there. So start along the green line, and then, oops. Okay, try again. And then swoop. Oh, we missed it. Back up. We'll try that again. Okay, we start at the green line and swoop down. We want to make sure we hit that point. That is our locator point. And there we go. That's how we graph an exponential. Can you say bye, students?
Bye, students.